All right, here we are back again for our lovely Gears of Vengeance. This time, let me rephrase that. Last time, you guys had finished killing the warlord, and then had sort of chased the rest of them sort of out. I'll remind you that when you chased them out, you could barely see them running away because it was still dark out. You had taken this place, you had kind of come in at night, and had never you've taken a couple short rests, but you've never done a full long rest. So as of right now, you're still. At least I can't find a long rest anywhere. That doesn't mean you didn't do one. I just can't find one. That anybody did one. So it's either the evening of the first of fall tide or it's the second of fall tide. I'll figure out as I do reports over the break. But
I don't think we did a long rest
no, I don't
because,
think so.
I've only got 1 out of 3 hit die.
Yeah. So I'm pretty sure it's still the evening of the first from you guys fighting these guys and chasing them through, finding Halton. Alfred's a different character in a different campaign completely. Halton kind of taking it back. Jan started dealing with him, and then you guys kind of continued trying to search out the rest of the stuff. Had a bit of a kerfuffle with a female goblin who wanted to keep a bunch of stuff, eventually chasing her off. And you guys again come back down into the main chamber, and we'll kind of get you guys back to this, where that's kind of where we ended it. You guys had the big thing being of the whole thing that you had went into a map room at one point and viewed a whole bunch of frescoes on the wall that kind of seemed to show the progress of a dwarven regiment leaving what you think is a large citadel and kind of their progress through the wilderness as they got to this particular place. So you have a few things related to that. So let's kind of pick it back up there. You guys had, searched through this whole thing and found a number of things, including some weapons and stuff like that. And you're kind of now had been searching around in this particular room for the warriors and that sort of stuff. What do you want to do next? It's probably 10 11 p.m. at night, pretty late at night, after you kind of waited for nightfall before you attacked this place. What do you guys want to do besides let your phone ring?
So, are we gonna go down? We're already downstairs. That was upstairs.
Yeah, you've been pretty much everywhere. I just rolled a d20 because I was checking something. But yeah, you guys have pretty much been through every place in here. You made it through everything last time. It's just we hadn't had enough time to continue to, wrap things up.
I thought that was underneath, but I guess they've been through the underneath part before. Right, underneath
the last time they were here, they were only in the secret area.
Okay.
That you had seen. But now they're, you guys went through everything else. You went through everything over here as well in this underneath part. So you've pretty much been through everything.
Okay. So should we go out and look out the front doors?
Well, remember, you did kind of do that when you guys were fighting the creatures and finally killed the warlord. You kind of went back through the secret entrance and kind of watched, and you saw that they were running away. That was maybe about an hour ago in game time.
Right. Were there any other buildings around, or just the main building? I never really.
The only thing that you guys have seen that you know of.
So let's go outside and see what's there. Go on the roof and spot, or.
Well, there is no roof. Remember, this is built into a mountain.
Okay. So do you guys want to go out the front door? Or do you want to rest in the secret area, take a long rest? Although that would put us going back at night, which would probably be bad.
No, the long rest is only 8 hours. Remember that. If you
Yeah.
went to sleep now, you'd just be up at mid-morning. That's all.
Let's do it.
All right. Let's do a long rest. We'll go back to the secret hiding place, or do y'all have a certain room? That room with the statues?
Remember, in this place, you kind of were intrigued because there was one statue that
right.
was
I remember
a listed guy, and so you kind of looked it over and were curious about it, but you didn't really figure anything out about it. Yes, so this is the secret area. You are correct.
Yeah, let's spark it up.
And when you get to there, Jan and Halton are in there, as well, even though I don't have them on the map here.
Okay.
And Halton is kind of looks up because Jan's kind of tending to his wounds and stuff like that. He's like, thank you for all your help.
So we're talking about needing to rest. Are you guys, of the same opinion?
Jan looks up. He's like, yeah. I mean, whatever you guys want to do. We've got him out. He's safe here. This is in this area that they don't seem to know anything about. Are there any of them left?
I don't think so.
Yeah, I think we
Seems
got
like
them all.
most of them ran away.
Even better.
All right, let's rest it up.
All right. You going to set any watches or anything?
Yeah, let's set a watch.
I mean,
I'll take.
You can close the secret doors too if you'd like. I mean, they're
Yeah,
currently
we're going to shut that up.
okay.
We're going to take a long rest. I'll be on the first
Well,
watch.
Shelly is still not in the secret area, but we'll solve that real quick. There we go. No, she is. It's all
was-
good. It's all good.
Okay.
You're
I'll
inside
take the
secret
last
area.
long rest if Kat wants to take the first one and someone needs the middle.
I'll take it first.
I'll do middle.
All right. So, Cat, give me a perception roll, and E means nothing.
Perception.
Well, that's because I still have you selected. So you everybody kind of starts bedding down, and Halton kind of leans back down. And he says, "Yeah, rest would be great." And he drinks a little more water from that Jan gives him. And he's like, "We'll talk more in the morning." And then he kind of dozes off. The rest of you kind of do a little bit of small talk for a bit, and then fall asleep as well. Shelgar, you listen at the doors. You kind of move back and forth between the two doors every so often and listen. You don't notice anything. I mean, you can still see that there's these low torches burning. You can see them through the sort of the crack in the secret door. But you don't hear anything, and everything seems to go by without any problems. And then who's next watch?
I'll go.
All right, you wake up Silva, sorry, and kind of get down and start going to sleep. And Silva, you kind of just sit there. Is there anything you're going to do? Give me a perception roll. And is there anything you're thinking of doing during the watch?
All I was gonna do is probably just like mark down things on map and other, just update kind of our information as a whole.
Okay. All right. So yeah, you start writing it down every now and then. You check them. You listen a little bit and look up. Give me a perception roll. Silva.
Yeah, give me 1 second.
Yeah.
Why is it not going on?
There it goes.
There we go. All right, cool.
All right, so yeah, you kind of do the every now and then looking up and listening. You don't notice anything either, and it seems to go off fine without a hitch, no issues. And then you wake up Artemis. Artemis, Silva wakes you up, and then kind of you see she might have been writing or drawing in a book of some sort. As she kind of puts it away and puts it under her pillow or her bedroll as she starts laying down in this room. Anything you're going to be doing while you do watch?
No, I don't think so. I'm gonna investigate. Let's see the staff. We know what it was.
Yeah, well, I don't know if you know what it was. Do you?
I remember it's like the Thunderbolts or something.
Okay, so I did tell you what it was. I just couldn't remember. It's a rune staff of Earth, if I remember correctly. I have to go look it up in the journal entries again real quick, or at least in the items. It is a rune staff of Earth. Yes. So, you had figured out that it does some spells. It acts as a spellcasting focus. So if you need a spellcasting focus, you can use it as one. It does require attunement, but once you have attuned to it, once per day you can cast one of the spells from the thing of a level that you can cast. So, like for now, you guys are at 3rd level potentially, so you could cast the 1st level Earth Tremble without using a spell slot. And you can also cast that spell also utilizing a spell slot. So if you wanted to just cast it with a 1st level spell slot, you can without having to prepare it.
Okay.
So you get one free casting of it, and then you can continue to cast it as long as you use your own spell slots to do so.
All right, gotcha. So I'm just investigating that. I thought there was another magic item, but I got to find my notebook. It's not a big deal. But I'll just look at those and go back and forth and listen.
Okay. Yeah, there's the axe, the cobalt axe, made of a blue stone of some sort that had the weird runes on it and sort of these sort of faceted not holes but divots in it, that you weren't sure what that was, and a few things like that. So yeah, you're just kind of looking through those things. Give me a perception roll while you're doing it at the same time.
Sure.
Okay. I don't know, maybe about 2/3 of the way through your watch. So at this point in time, you're like, you think maybe the sun might be up. You're not 100% sure, because it's not normally your thing. But before you hear it, you feel a slight wiggle on the floor that slowly gets more and more and more and more. Do you wish to do anything?
So I've gotten a long rest technically, right? Because I've gone my 8 hours first. Or, see, what spells do I have? I don't have anything useful.
The floor is starting to, the whole thing is starting to shake a little bit. You notice some dust starting to come down from the ceiling. What do you want to do?
Who are non-casters? I'll wake up some of our
Morgoth,
non-casters.
Andal.
Okay, I'll make up those two.
Jan probably doesn't cast anything. As far as you know, Halton doesn't cast anything. As you go to start waking up, as you go to get up and go over to start shaking on Morgoth, you everything starts to rumble, and you hear it start to rumbling now, and suddenly pieces of the ceiling fall and slam into the ground. But I need to do this. Actually, everybody give me a dexterity saving throw. If your name is Artemis, straight up. If your name is not, with disadvantage.
To see if I roll over at the correct time.
Yeah. There's some nice saves going on here.
Nah, you just jinxed me.
Well, you're the only one that doesn't have disadvantage.
Yeah, right. But I rolled crap.
All right. It is kind of funny. Everybody except for Friar Artemis makes the saving throw. They even all had. As you kind of roll over, most of you kind of roll over in your sleep as chunks of the ceiling come falling down. Artemis, you take 6 points of damage, unfortunately. Bludgeoning damage. Everybody else takes 2 points because pieces of it, you're not taking the full brunt of it, and you wake up as you realize there's an earthquake going on, and it happens for a good 30 seconds, and you kind of, given now that you know what's going on, you start moving out and getting out of the way. I actually need to roll dexterity saves for the other two. So give me 1 second.
Does this mean we don't get a long rest?
No, you still get the long rest. This is not affecting your long rest. Okay, so Jan also fails.
Real fast, Peter. The Artemis class. Should I take it from the Alchemist class from the Artificer?
No.
Okay.
I have it. It's also on World Anvil. Okay, so Jan fails and also takes the 6 points. The other guy does not. Or Halton doesn't fail. He kind of sort of wakes up and gets out of the way, almost as if he wakes up as the rumbling starts, and you didn't even have to wake him. So after 30 seconds, the trembling stops. You see dust still coming from the ceiling. Some more pieces occasionally fall. What are you guys doing? Clearly, it was an earthquake.
Is it going to be faster to get to the front of the cave entrance where we came in, or out?
Caves
the
are right
front
here.
door?
Cave is right here. Going the other way, you have to go through the entire thing.
I said we go through the cave.
Yeah,
Come on, let's get out. Get out of here.
Yeah, it rumbles for like 30 seconds. I mean, during that 30 seconds, you guys can leave to the cave if you want. I mean, you can easily leave outside of this thing and go into the cave during that time. But after about 30 seconds, it stops.
Oh. Well, maybe it opened something in the place. Let's go through and explore again, see if it anything's different. Sound good?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I want to go research the entire thing again.
Yeah. It shouldn't take that long to run.
All right, so you guys start heading back through the whole place again.
Yeah, I can't get out for some reason.
You have to open the door.
Door shut. Well, yeah, it wouldn't let me open the door either. All right.
So you start doing that. You spend the better part of an hour kind of searching through everything. Nothing seems to be any different than before. A few more pieces of rock have fallen from some of the ceilings in various places, but for the most part, nothing new. Except for when you, if you go through some of these things here, you'll go up some levels. Except for when you go into, let's see here, this room, I want to say. I need to make sure what room it is. Yes, when you come to this room right here, you notice that a piece of the wall has kind of fallen out as well, and there's a longsword has fallen out onto the floor.
Take it.
Next to the longsword, as you go to pick it up, there's a small tube.
I take that too.
Take the tube. We'll share it with everybody.
Yeah, no, I'm just telling you. That's the only thing. As you go through the whole thing, that's the only
That's
thing
what
that
we
you
find.
notice that's different. Now,
No
I mean,
great spellbook?
if you wish to do some more searching again, you can.
Yeah, I do. I'll investigate as I go through the rooms. Nothing.
Yeah, I think that was the only. There's only like.
Mainly along the walls for secret entrances.
Yeah,
I'm not
I'm pretty sure you found most everything. So.
Okay.
That was like one of the few things you didn't find because you rolled poorly. Actually, I think because no one actually checked this room. No one actually searched in this room. But it was.
It doesn't really look like a room. That's probably why I didn't. But yeah. That was cool. Fortuitous earthquake.
No, I mean I rolled a 1, so I figured I'd just
Oh, okay.
do an earthquake as the thing. For whatever happened, because an earthquake is what's revealed this initially. So there can be earthquakes around here.
Oh yeah.
It's possible. Yeah. So you search around. That's the only new thing that you find. So what do you do next?
I guess go back in the cave, right?
So it takes you about an hour. Well, I mean, at this point in time, you know that this right here is the front door. So in theory, you could just go out it.
Yeah.
But we had to get rid of the traps. I know there were a bunch of traps there, right?
No, not that you know of.
I thought I looked and there were traps.
Maybe it isn't.
No, there wasn't any traps in there.
Okay. Then is there anything in the tunnels? I don't know the tunnels were, because then it seems like the tunnels went on. Is there anything there we should look at?
Tunnels went on where?
The tunnels we came in, wasn't there?
No, you explored them all. They're not very extensive.
Okay. Then yeah, go out.
All right, so you guys head back out into the valley, as it starts to pour and rain here. So you guys head out into the valley, and
Those just rocks over here above me. Okay.
define above you. Yeah, this is just a waterfall that comes down from maybe another canyon. And of course, I picked the wrong one. Imagine that. Alright, so we're back after technical snafu, which seems to be happening all the time nowadays, so I'll have to figure out why. All right, so you guys search the whole thing, come out in the out into the valley. It's really not super important that your character be out here. You come out into the valley. What are you doing next?
I was gonna check out those towers.
They're just crudely made towers made
Okay.
out of some wood and stuff. Same thing with the palisades. They're very crudely made, and they're made for goblins. So technically, you're standing like you can literally look into the top of the tower from where you're from like with your standing because they're only about 6 feet tall.
Okay, yeah, they're not like huge.
No, they're not huge at all.
All right, so you guys ready to head back? Anything else we need to see here? Anything behind the waterfall? The
No,
classic.
no, it's
Okay.
not. Turn back on the light of day because it's daytime. Yeah, I mean, nothing really else here, unless you want to do something with it.
What do you guys think? Nothing else, right?
Nothing for me.
Yeah, we
Think
should
we're
probably
good.
just head back into town.
All right. All right. So you guys start heading back, and Halton is still not the best. I mean, it looks like he didn't get fed for a couple of days, and so he's very little water, so he's still chapped lips and all that sort of stuff. So he kind of walks slowly with you guys, with Jan. Jan's kind of supporting him a bit, but he every now and then he's like, "I'm okay." As you guys are walking, he says, "Let me find my notes." Is what he says. My notes. That's wild. When it went down, it took my notes down. That is bizarre. Like really bizarre.
I thought you were gonna say it crashed again.
No, it didn't crash, but it like literally closed. It literally closed a whole bunch of things. It's really weird. Okay. So you guys as you guys are kind of walking, he kind of tries to catch up to you, Silva. And he's like, thanks for coming and helping Jan to get me.
Oh, it's our pleasure. Of course. Anything for a friend.
Yeah. I mean, I definitely consider you guys friends. And then he kind of opens up a salve again and kind of applies it to himself, and he picks him up a little bit, so he continues walking with you guys as you're again continuing down the valley along the sort of the footpath that kind of led you here. They're really more of a game path than a footpath. He's like, it's a little sad that you had to kill so many of them, though.
Yeah. Well, you should tell your friend that he went in and just started cutting off heads when they were running.
Oh, Jan is a little more old school than I am.
Definitely seems to be the case.
I feel I should speak with you. Can we slow down a little bit?
Sure. Yeah. I'll go to his pace.
Yeah, so he slows down. You guys kind of fall back a little bit. I would say Artemis, Shelley, and Andal, you kind of noticed that those two fall back a little bit, just in case you wanted to do something. And Halton's like, I'm concerned about you and your friend's mission. The items, technology you're searching for.
Yeah. We're bad.
Or have you considered the consequences of actually finding how to do this and what happens then?
I mean, there could be consequences, but there's always a benefit to exploring new technology, even if it is old new technology, rediscovering. There's always a
Maybe,
benefit in moving forward.
but have you thought about how that impacts the natural world?
Yay, nature.
How is it? How is it going to affect the natural world? What are we
Well, you
doing?
already
What have you figured
see
out?
you already see what happens in the mining around here, and the waste that happens, and the
And maybe the
destruction of
technology
forests.
was lost for a reason. Maybe the
Shelly,
guy.
Shelly, you're not there unless you specifically say you're falling back. Like they literally fall
Oh,
back out of earshot.
beg pardon.
Yeah, no problem. I mean, I said you noticed them fall back. If you would like to try to fall back, you can. I'm not saying you can't. I'm just.
I'll walk a little slower to see if I
Okay.
can
All right, so
start
you're
thinking
slowly
about
coming
more.
back to where they are. It's all good. He says, you see what they do, what the smelts and the furnaces in the city, what they do, the waste that it provides. Does
Are
that
you
not leave a
thinking?
mark?
Well, are you thinking that with this new technology, there will be a boom in expansion and new
No, I think there
technology
will be an
and
arms race
industry?
and war will come to the land, which will
Ah, I
destroy the
see.
forests and destroy the natural habitats.
Hmm.
It's about that point where you get back to within earshot, Shelley.
Okay.
Did I see her kind of falling back?
I mean, you get there. You guys are behind them, so you can sort of see her slowly coming back. Yes.
Hmm.
Uh,
I mean, we have to do some more research into the weapons themselves. We don't know exactly what they do yet.
um, Alton kind of pulls an amulet. No, I mean, no. He kind of opens up his leather a little bit and kind of it flaps open, and there's sort of a symbol on it that you can see as he kind of shows it to you. He's like, "I am a member of." I wrote this down. Where the heck did it go? Oh, there we go. I am a member of Aerra Chosen. We seek to preserve the natural balance.
See, do I recognize the name?
You've never heard so you've never heard of that oh my god, I can't spell. You see you don't recognize the symbol, but Aerra you do recognize. That is a diary goddess of the wilds.
Okay. Hmm. How many are chosen?
Actually, give me a knowledge history check, real quick.
Okay. What the fuck?
Cat, just do a perception check. That's all.
Okay.
You might see it, you might not. You just you don't notice it. Because you're trying to be surreptitious about it. You kind of every so often are looking back, but you just happen to miss it. That's all. But knowledge history for Silva. And I will also say Artemis and Andal and Morgoth this time. Notice that Sealgair has kind of slowed down as well. Ryan, you gonna provide a knowledge history?
Gotcha. I'm
Ryan,
still okay.
Sorry.
All right, I will provide you with a knowledge history. This is not hard. You don't recognize the symbol. I mean, you recognize Aerra as a goddess, a diary goddess of the wilds, but you don't recognize the symbol. With a 10, though, something niggles at your brain about forest things and something like that. You just can't quite grasp it. Yeah, you can't quite grasp it. So Halton continues with, just keep in mind that every time some new powerful technology comes around, greedy people and evil people want it, and wars for it happen. That is all. Just keep that in mind. And thank you again for helping to get me away from them. They don't think they would have eaten me or anything, and I am also happy that at least some of them got away. Hopefully they will build anew. And he starts to speed up again.
As do I. I'll head up.
Okay. Shelley, at some point they kind of catch up to you. Doesn't take too long. You heard maybe about half their conversation. The latter half. But he didn't say, like, he said, I'm a member of this, of Aerra Chosen. So you did hear something about Aerra Chosen. I would say give me a knowledge history check for that as well. Sealgair. And you guys continue down the valley. You guys are having major problems. Public rolls, Cat, please. I mean, you don't. The name means nothing to you. And out through the valley, back along the trail, and it takes you the better part of the day to get back to Ravensthorpe. So it's probably early to mid-afternoon as you kind of start seeing the outskirts of the farms again, and eventually make it the kind of game track turns into a trail, which turns into kind of a poor road that goes past a set of farms and into Ravensthorpe proper. Excuse me. At this point in time, you probably have enough time to make it all the way back to Tanovar if you want, and I shouldn't have said that. At this point in time, Halton and Jan kind of like, thanks again for helping me with Halton here. And Halton said, yes, thanks for getting me out of there. I'll let you know if any more troubles happen to the village, and maybe we can go look at that together the next time. Before I just go off on my own. And the two of them head into the inn, the wagon inn. If you guys wish to follow them in, you wish to continue on to Tanovar, it's only about 3 hours to Tanovar, which would get you there before dusk, but right around dusk.
I'm okay with going to Talobar unless you guys think we need anything.
I'm
Do we
okay
want
with
to turn
going
any
to
of this stuff over to, will he pay us for this stuff? The staff and the axe? Or
Maybe.
does anyone want
You don't
that
know.
for that sword?
I mean, there's nothing clear about the staff or axe that makes you think that they're part of this technology he's looking for. But maybe.
Okay.
But maybe he might. It's also up to you if you want to give it to him. You don't have to.
Yeah, that's kind of why I'm asking, to see what the party thinks. I mean, someone can use this. I could use a staff, or someone else could use a staff. I guess only. Actually, yeah, no, the staff I could use. The scrolls I can't. We found a scroll of some type. We found a
Scroll of Misty Step.
Yep. So what do you guys think? First of all, we going back to town, or are we gonna stop here?
Actually, Silva and you can use the Sprune staff.
Yeah, and Silva's welcome to it. I mean, I'm
Yeah, no, I'm just
I'm not
letting you
going to
know.
use it.
I'm just
not gonna
saying
use it.
more than one person can use it is all.
okay.
That's all I'm trying to say.
And the axe, I could use the barbarian, or someone else could use it. I'm trying to split it up.
Yeah, no. I understand. Cobalt axe. Anybody, it's a martial melee weapon, so anybody that can use martial melee weapons can use it. It also does not seem to require attunement.
Even better.
Oh, I want to look at the sword I got.
Looking at the sword, it's a lengthy straight blade designed for slashing foes. It's a long sword, and this one's versatile. You can. It's got a long enough pommel that you can do it with two hands if you really wanted to. Similar to what the scimitar that you found the one time, or the saber, I'm sorry, that you found the one time. The pommel seems to contain a mechanism for opening it up, and you can see that there's a way to put stuff inside.
Mm.
And it looks like it can hold up to 3 of the spheres that you have found. Looking at the spheres that you found, now suddenly I don't remember what they are. Or the tube, when you open that up, it has spheres in it, and the spheres are the ones that crackle with energy. So the lightning spheres that you've found before.
Okay.
You're not exactly sure what this would do, but it seems like this is just a similar form as that saber, just in a different weapon style.
Okay.
That's your guess. Also, it doesn't require attunement if you wish to use it.
I think I'm gonna use it.
Okay, so what are you guys doing? I mean, are you gonna stay here at the inn?
I'm fine with going back to
Or do you
town.
want to go back to town?
I think we should head back.
I mean, I'm okay with heading back. I don't, unless you guys know of anything else we're doing around here. This isn't near where we need the herbs, right? They're on the other side of the
No,
world.
it's on the other side of the lake.
The lake, yeah.
Farther to the, like you're to the west. This is the other side of the lake where you need to go is farther to the east. Like
Okay.
Panavar is on the western side of the lake. The forest that they mentioned, this thing that you were going for, which I don't remember the exact name of right in a second, is on the eastern side of the lake. You guys start to head out when the door to the wagon inn opens up and behind you, and you hear Brunner say, hello, hey, come back. You come
Okay.
back or just...
Turn around. Yeah.
I've lost Brenner's accent. My good friends, the mayor of the town would like to speak with you. He is here. He was talking to Halton and Jan and would like to speak with you.
Sure.
Okay.
Is there anything about the goblins, or do you know?
Yes, he wishes to speak with you about the goblins.
Very well.
All right, so you guys head into the wagon inn. Inside, you can see Jan and Halton at a table with an older man. He's got graying hair. He looks grizzled in the sense like he looks like he's maybe he was a trapper at some point. Maybe he was a farmer at some point. I mean, clearly he's seen some hard working days. Not as much now. You can see that the whatever hardness he had from work and things like that is starting to soften a bit in his elder age, though. He's got blue eyes and a very full beard that's kind of about 3 or 4 inches long down his chest a little bit. And he stands up as you guys comes in and raises a glass and he says, to the adventurers who have provided us with by getting rid of the scourge of the goblins. And Halton and Jan and a couple farmers are in there and they go, here, and then they drink a drink. And the mayor, you assume this is the mayor, says, may I buy you a drink before you head on your way? Bruno, would you please get these people whatever they want?
So yeah, go up and
you guys head in and sit down, and Bruno
take a drink.
starts bringing some drinks. Since you've been here enough, he knows your drinks, although at least for the 3 of them, the other 2 of you, he doesn't know what to get you. But you give an order and he brings it out. And it's like the guy kind of sidles over to your table and he sits down and says, cheers for looking into this and bringing back our Halton. My name is Brix. I am the mayor of this town. Or, well, Mayor is sort of the wrong word. I run the town at the behest of his lordship. Basically, it sounds like he's been installed by the Baron in Tanovar to this town to basically run it. It is good that you have gotten rid of this goblin plague so that we can continue our work and make sure that we get everything in from the fields before it gets too cold.
Well, I think we killed all the warriors. I mean, I think the families are still around, but they have left the building. I'm Artemis, by the way. I'm traveling with, these are my companions. You know them already?
No, I have never met them before. You guys, none of them have ever met Bricks.
Well, introduce yourselves, my friends.
Morgoth, how do you do?
I'm doing fine. My name is Bricks Ward. It's good to see you, Mayor of this here town. Morgoth.
Well, I'm Silva.
Ah, nice to meet you, milady. And you are, and he's looking at Shelley.
Who is
Strong, straliant type. I get it.
Who's
you are?
The name's Andal. I apologize for some of my compatriots.
Oh, it's all good. It's all good.
What's the word? Shyness, I guess.
They're on the spectrum.
No, that was not the word. That wasn't it.
I'm just kidding. No. It's all fine. It's all fine. I mean, we're a small little village here on the outskirts. We understand that not everyone is comfortable speaking what they're telling their names and things of this nature. But that's fine. But again, thank you so much for helping with this problem. Next time you are through, Brunner, let them know that they can stay in the rooms for one night on my tab. And Brunner's like, yes, good to know this.
That's very generous. That's very generous. Do you have any other problems?
I'm fixing my thing. Give me a second.
Yeah, no problem.
Okay.
Do we have anything? No, well, I mean, harvest is just about done. I mean, we could always use some extra backs for bringing in the harvest. But that's with only maybe another week or two of that left, and then most of it should be in. Other than that, I mean, I think most of the strange goings-ons that we have heard of from the last few weeks, or the last week or so, were these goblins, it seems. But if something does come up, is there a place I can send word to you and that you guys tend to spend more time in?
I raise an eyebrow to Brian, because he's the one who actually it's his home, right? The gypsy camp or the camp.
Well, I mean, that's just where he stays, but I mean, everybody has.
One of us actually had family there.
Well, no, yes, Silva's family is there. It's just that she stays there, but she sometimes stays.
We're traveling people, so I'm not really that's not really like my home.
Yeah, like her family tends to travel. She's more settled down in Tanovar because of the artificing.
So, what about the person we're working for? Just leave a message there.
Oh, you have a benefactor?
Oh.
Yes.
Is it anyone we might have heard of? Who is this benefactor?
Oh, I don't think we've heard from him, and we just do a few things for him, but we check in with him every now and then.
But does he have a name?
I've actually never met the man.
You've
I
met
met his
Castor.
underlings. What?
You've
No,
met
I know,
Castor.
but
Okay.
I know.
No, all right. Well, I mean, I would leave word for him, but I don't have a name to leave.
So I'm looking at the other things. Is there some reason they're just saying shut up or something? Is it?
I don't know why Brian, Andrew, and Cole are not participating.
Oh, I was letting somebody else go.
Well, I'm trying to get someone else to talk because it's not really my thing at this point.
I was talking earlier. I was letting everybody else go. By everybody else, I mean the other two people have met him. His name's Caster Fizzbolt.
Caster Fizzbolt. Why is that name familiar to me? Oh, he's the one that did the enchantments on the ceiling, the domed ceiling at the Church of Seer, the temple. Yes, yes. Oh, yes. He's quite well known for that. I believe he's maybe fallen a bit on hard times over the last few years, but it's good to see he's found some people to help him out. Well, I will. If something comes up, I will leave word there.
Thank you.
Yes, thanks.
Well, I'm sure you are quite busy. I don't wish to take up any more time. Thank you again. Here. And he downs the rest of his drink and says, "Don't hesitate to to come through our fair village anytime you wish." And he heads out the door.
Certainly. Thank you for the hospitality.
Mm-hmm. You guys doing anything else? You finish your drinks?
Yep. Finish my drink.
Absolutely.
Listen
I
and
definitely
conversation.
finish my drink and order another.
And order another. Well, the next one you're going to have to pay for.
That is fine by Silva.
Okay. All right. So Silva spends a Silva and gets another drink. Anybody else doing anything, or are you guys heading back to Tanavar?
He's just too good. I think
I'm
we
ready
just
to
head
head
back.
back.
All right. So you
Yeah, I
guys,
think we're headed back.
Silva drinks her last drink, and you guys head back to Tanavar. So you head down the road. It gets a little cloudy and overcast, but no rain. I mean, it seems like it should be raining, but there's no rain coming out of it. And as it gets on towards dusk, not the two suns have went beyond the mountains, but it's not dark yet. You guys come to the outside of the camping, the slum camp outside of Tanavar, and then make it into the city walls a little bit before the sun's set. What do you guys want to do next? What are you doing next?
So, cryptography, we learned a lot. Why don't we go to an inn and we'll discuss it before we head, or someplace we could talk privately and we have some things to discuss and trade and split up, correct?
Yes.
Sounds good.
Is there a place that's better than others here?
What's the best inn in Tanavar? I don't remember.
Well, there's some nice ones up in the Merchant District. The
Well, I
only
meant
one you
someplace
guys
where
have ever been to is
you
the
left
Red
alone.
Boar. Is the Red Boar Tavern.
It's pretty cool. I mean,
The tavern was pretty good. Yeah.
There. Okay.
I mean, it's not an inn, but it is a place to sit and talk.
I mean, if we had a room, we can ensure privacy, but
Why don't we just go to my house?
excellent idea.
Have a nice sleepover.
Yes, that'd be excellent. Do I have gear? Sleeping on the floor.
Mm-hmm. All right, so you guys head to Morgoth's house. So it doesn't take you very long to get there. He's actually not too far from the western gate. He lets himself in. You guys head in. You notice Morgoth that it looks like your sisters might have been here at least one more time since you left a couple days ago. And the place is it's set up okay. I mean, the house is basically pretty small. Like it's a single room on the floor or on the first floor, and there's some stairs that head up, and you guess there's probably maybe one or two small rooms upstairs. But there's enough room for you guys to do stuff here.
Alright, sounds good, I think.
So, we have things to divide or sell. Like I was kind of mentioning earlier, we have the staff. He may or may not want it. He gets gold. If he doesn't, one of us can use it. It seems to, like I said, have some spell casting ability in earth, and the only issue is it is pretty obvious to be magic. Correct, Peter?
Somewhat. I mean, it's rune covered.
Maybe we can disguise it.
You might be able to.
And then we got the sword. We got an axe. What's in the scroll?
Misty Step.
It's what?
Misty Step.
Well, the one I just got. You said it was one we just got with the sword.
No.
Wasn't a scroll.
No.
It was a tube.
It was not a scroll. There was a tube.
Okay.
Inside a small tube about 6 inches long. Inside the tube are those crackling spheres.
Oh, that's what those were. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I misunderstood. So we got
I
that.
didn't say scroll tube. I said an iron tube.
I just assumed with tube, and I didn't hear the second part.
No.
I wondered where those things came from.
Yep.
So, and we have the Misty Step. Do you guys want to divide these? Do we want to sell them?
I would like the sword.
I'm not offended at all if you take the sword. Anyone else? What?
I don't think any of the stuff we found is really useful for Andal.
If nobody else wants the sword, I'll take ownership.
I think Cole.
Pretty sure Morgoth just said I want the sword.
Yeah,
I
Morgoth.
thought he said, "Does anybody want the sword?" Okay, never mind.
I did.
Never
But we
mind.
have an axe. If you want the axe.
No, I don't want an axe. I'd like a finesse weapon when it comes available.
See, my kind of people.
So we have an axe and a staff. So Silva, you don't want the staff?
No, I'm never going to use it. My focus is a gun.
Okay. Then I can use a staff.
And we just have an axe.
Yeah, who wants the axe? Or we could sell it, like I said. It seems like it could be very valuable, or if we could identify it a little more.
I don't know.
Maybe
I
we'll
don't think we
search it.
should sell it.
Yeah, I kind of agree.
So I'm assuming I didn't hear anything about. Andal didn't hear stuff that Silva was talking with Halton about.
No.
But does she decide to tell everybody this stuff?
I don't know. You're currently talking about magical weapons and splitting things up, so I don't know what.
Well, would she have told us about it like at some point on the way back?
I don't know. Silva? I think Brian's having issues.
He's muted. Because the logic would be if she did talk about it, due to some sort of thought process like that, I would suggest not selling such weapons like this, because if someone gets it, they're going to want to know where. Someone's going to try to figure out where they found it and want to find more, because it's clearly rare and valuable. So people would want more of them. So that would just lead to more people going to the old ruins, and there's probably things there that maybe shouldn't be released.
That's definitely valid.
We already saw the one thing.
I would also remind you that Castor does want things of this nature. So I mean,
that's
just
true.
because you
You
don't
also
think
give it to him; he'll buy it.
Yeah.
Well, that's who I was thinking would take it. Honestly, I wasn't thinking like just give it to anybody. But
as of right now, Brian Silva has not mentioned to you what Halton said.
I mean, we probably would, if we were going to sell it to anyone, we would probably sell it to Castor. He is correct. That would make the most sense.
I will go ahead and yeah, I'll share with the group what he said, the concerns he raised.
All right.
Yeah, I'll just.
Well, did it seem like you would threaten us if we kept doing
So as soon as you tell them that all of that, Andal and Morgoth, give me a knowledge history check.
Historia.
And Morgoth?
Do I know
I'm
themes?
finding it. Oh, there it is.
Let's see.
Okay.
Alright, so Andal, you've heard of Arfane again, similar to what we're talking about, a diary goddess of the hunt of the wild places and the hunt and things of that nature. But Arfane's Chosen doesn't ring a bell to you. That being said, Morgoth, Arfane's Chosen, totally rings a bell to you. You remember while you were being one part of the Black Watch, there is a circle of druids, which has been basically being sort of eco-terrorists. They have been part of the reason why the outer wall is taking so long is because they keep on doing things by causing overgrowth, doing blights and things on the battlements and things. To at least they haven't in the last since you left. You don't know if they're still only doing it, but before that they were doing things to try to prevent the expansion of the city. And they were definitely Arfane's Chosen. That you're pretty sure of. You don't know of any rangers in their ranks, though. As far as you know, they were druids. So that's what you remember in your history.
Okay. I shall share that knowledge.
Did we, I know when we were talking about the earthquake thing, or actually, no, you just said that was a regular one. Never mind.
Yeah, that seemed like it was just a normal earthquake.
Okay. Because I was going to say, oh, wait, maybe it's that, but then I was like, he probably just dodged it because he's Ranger Boy. So never mind.
So take that as you will, as part of your whole thing about what Halton said to you guys.
So it's a possibility he's going to clue. These people would not like what we're about to do. They may even oppose us.
Based on what Silva just said to you, the Halton basically just said, hey, rethink your course of action. Didn't threaten anyone,
right.
Just said rethink what you're doing. Think about the moral quandary, the moral consequences of this.
So we have two groups of people who don't want us to do what we want, what we're planning to do.
One is clearly because they want one.
One of them is probably because they're the people that Halton doesn't want people getting stuff.
Maybe, but
and the other one is Halton.
So, there you go.
Okay.
Anything else you guys want to do?
How much time have we actually spent telling the other two about what stuff we actually have been doing?
I don't think
because
you've
the
done
whole
much.
time they've been here, we've been doing things other than that.
Yeah, I don't think you've told them much.
So, that would be the only other thing I'd want to do is spend more time actually explaining the things we would actually be doing, because everything we've been doing so far with them is not stuff we normally do.
Well,
it's not the basic job that we were hired to.
That's fair. That's fair.
Other things.
If you guys want to talk about it, that's up to you guys. I mean, I'm just here to facilitate the story.
So, what do you mean? What do we normally do? We're just not here to get this stuff, find as much stuff for him, and bring it back?
That is pretty much what that's our job description, yeah. I just didn't know if there were any other like specifics you had wanted to know, because we only really vaguely talked about it.
Well, I mean, you found that gun. Where did you find that?
There was besides that place we just went to, that was the first place we went to, and we almost died to those goblins at one point. Halton actually led us to a second ruin that was covered in these fungal creature things that were kind of disgusting. And giant masses of gray fungus that had taken over the whole place. Everyone in there, all the dwarves in there were dead. But we found the guns in some crates and they were completely fine. Like anything that seems to be made to be capable of using these magical balls seems to be impervious to the test of time, at least the amount of time that's been passed. They have been in good condition and stuff. So like the three of us have bolters, and then we gave the fourth one to Caster, and he's been messing with it. He took it apart last time we saw him. And then we found some other things, like the armor I'm wearing has that sort of capability. The shield does as well. There's obviously the stuff we just found. So there's a couple of other things we found as well. So like, yeah. But when we were there, this other group of people what was the name of the guy? He told us his name, didn't he?
Darvin.
The one who threatened us in the
Darvin.
city, and then Halton showed up.
I keep saying the name Darvin.
Darvin. Sorry, I spoke over you. I'm sorry. Yeah, the Darvin, who is working for somebody, has repeatedly threatened us and told us to stop going to do these things, and he dropped the entrance on that one on top of us, so we had to go out a secret way that goes through a canyon.
So you also don't know who Darvin is working for. You figure it's some
That is
rival
true.
of casters, but you don't know who he's
Yeah,
working for.
it's some person who clearly wants the relics for weapons or something.
Mhm.
They don't want other people having it.
Okay.
Well, or it may be simpler than that. You're not sure.
Yeah, I would guess weaponry, but who knows?
I wonder if they're. Well, these things there wouldn't be like ancestors or some type of, burial ground type thing where they didn't want you disturbing it. Their ancestors.
They were human.
Yeah.
It wasn't dwarves.
Everybody give me an insight check real quick. Definitely a whole bunch of
All these
stuff.
freaking dice on I can't roll. Oh well, doesn't matter.
Okay. Andal and Shelley to some extent, but Andal more than anything. As you're kind of telling your story about Halton taking you to the other one, and knowing what you know now about Halton, it suddenly occurs to you that maybe he took you to there not because of the Dwarven ruins, but maybe because of the fungus that was inside it. Shelley,
Didn't
you
he
kind of
take-
have a similar thought. But
Did he
not-
take
maybe not
samples
as in-
when we were there?
He did.
He did take samples of that fungus.
Yeah, he did.
Do you have any left? Did you get any samples of it?
I don't
Silva
know
took
if we.
some. Silva took some
Silva,
as well.
maybe.
Silva has some vial of it, I think, as well.
Could I examine it, or could we split it and examine it? Because maybe there's something there that, it's obviously. Is it grown? Is it intelligent? That type of thing.
It tended to move to light, and it would mound itself up into creatures. That's kind of what it did.
So it does have some type of intelligence,
Yeah, some kind.
even if it's instinctive. Well, like I said, I wouldn't mind looking at some, or, the person you obviously has some interest in it, good, bad, or indifferent.
Yeah, but judging from the fact that we're talking about eco-terrorism, he might want it for nefarious purposes.
Well, I'm just saying, Morgoth remembers them as trying to prevent the walls and the city from expanding. It's not like they've attacked the city tried to blight everybody or something like that. They've just been trying to prevent the city from expanding.
Yeah.
Eco-terrorism might be a little extreme for what they've been really doing.
The fungus.
It may get there,
The
though.
fungus from. Oh, the fungus from.
From the one,
Yeah, yeah.
the fungus that attacked you
Oh.
guys.
Right. Wasn't. I don't remember what we found out about that. It's been a while.
You haven't done anything with it. You collected some and then just haven't done anything with it.
Oh, right. I have some.
Yes.
I totally forgot I had some. Yeah, sorry. I'll pull it out.
Yeah.
That's all right.
So he's
I
got
was
like a
just
small
asking
vial
why
of this,
or-
of this grayish colored fungus. Like it's sort of mold fungus kind of hybrid kind of thing. When he pulls it out and you bring it out, you're in the darkened room. There's no light. It's also nightfall, so you can see that what's in there. Part of it looks brown, like it's maybe has died, but part of it's still kind of grayish kind of color, a grayish blue kind of thing. It doesn't really move or anything. It's just fungus.
If I put a candle up near it, does it move?
No, it doesn't.
So it's probably only sunlight of some type.
Possibly. Also, this is a small portion of it, so you don't know. Like, not they
How
haven't really
much?
explained everything what went on. So not knowing that, it's hard to know that if this is how much of it's needed to become something more.
So, do you think the guy was going to leave you there? Did he fight with you as well?
No, Halton didn't. He fought the thing creatures with them. Yes.
Yeah, no, he
Okay.
fought with us the whole time. Like he hasn't
So it
tried
wasn't
to
like he
stop
was
us or
gonna-
do anything at all.
But he wanted to investigate it and see.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, the
it
insight
could
here
be
is
an
that,
ulterior motive.
maybe Halton brought you there because of the fungus and wanted you to help him with the fungus. That's the insight here.
Yeah.
I knew he could get us to go there because we wanted the other stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
And it worked. You got some more fungus.
Yeah.
So also,
Go ahead.
that map, I mean, on the wall where they traveled to, I mean, if we could backtrack to where the people who built that, that fortification, that city, I mean, it definitely could give us a path. If we could, I know I came in town and there was a cardiographer.
Cardiographer would be a heart person.
Yeah. Yeah. So, but perhaps we go in town and
You're in
get some
town.
maps.
Just remember.
No, I know. I'm just get some maps and maybe see if we could, line up where they may have come from.
Yeah, do we know if the
Sounds good.
cartographer's back yet? I forget when he was supposed to
You
get
would
here.
assume he's back. I mean, it's been plenty of time.
Okay, so we should probably see him in the morning. I think that would be
Yeah,
the
that would be
next
great.
best course of action, is to go see them immediately tomorrow.
Okay.
So,
Go ahead.
anything else we need to do? We'll sell the axe, take the axe to
We'll take the axe to Castor, yeah,
Castor.
because
Tonight
none of us
or
seem
the
to
next
want
day?
it.
Tonight or the next day?
I don't know how Castor operates. I would assume the next day, but they know how.
I guess the question I'm
Excited.
asking is there anything else that you guys are doing right now this evening for discussion or anything? You're gonna go to sleep first. You're gonna what's your plan of action?
I am going to go. Unless they want to go, my plan would be to sleep and rest. But
Okay.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
was
I
thinking
mean, it
that
doesn't
as
really
well.
matter.
All right. So you guys, chat a bit more. Maybe discuss a little more about what happened in the fungal ruins, and then slowly drift off to bed. Anybody doing anything else?
Andal, whatever the normal channels to meet back with the person,
So at a
he will
certain
do.
point, you remember you have to go put another job posting up there.
Yeah, so he's gonna go do that.
All right. So are you trying to sneak out, or are you just saying, "Hey, I'm going back to my place"?
Just gonna say, hey, I need to go grab some stuff from
So at a certain point, Andal heads out and says, "I got a place to stay. I'm going to go get some stuff," and he heads off.
Okay. I have ink and parchment in my belongings. Can I copy spells we can compare spell lists?
Can you do what? Sorry, say that again. Sorry.
Compare spell lists. I've got ink and parchment, so to add spells to my spell book. That is it Brian? Does Brian have spells?
Well, he has
Yes, but I'm gonna have
formula,
to-
but yes. To do that, you have to have a certain X amount of gold pieces worth of the ink and parchment. It's
And
typically
that's what I was wondering.
it's typically 50 gold per level.
Okay.
So if you want to try to transfer a third level formula to your spell book or your formula book, you would need 150 gold pieces worth of special inks and parchment and things like that to do it.
Yeah, I don't have that yet, but maybe after.
Yeah, no, I'm just but that is what you need to do. Yes.
Okay. I was just wondering if they had the parchment, if that would work already, but
It
probably
won't
not.
work because it's special inks and things like that to capture the magic and that sort of stuff. But I mean, I'm not saying that you don't have some of those inks. You do, because you're automatically doing that as part of your leveling up process. You're figuring out your own stuff, but you just specifically have to have a certain GP version amount of it to do the transfer. That's all.
Okay.
So I guess it's kind of crowded in here. Maybe I'll go try to find something to eat somewhere, or like maybe see if I can find a hotel room or something. an inn.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I'll go to the inn and get dinner, and you can stay there. Because yeah, I mean, I don't want to impose on his hospitality, but I definitely don't want to spend like gold if I don't have to. So I could. The
Yeah.
floor will work. I've got a bedroll.
Mm-hmm.
Probably have
Oh.
another bed or something.
So at this point in time, Andal has kind of headed off. So
Yeah, yeah. Anyway, Andal.
there are multiple. There's inns in various portions of the city. Like there's a dockside inn that
Yeah.
you could probably go to. It's pretty cheap. There's sort of the mid-city inn, which is going to be more of probably a little bit better than what you were staying at in the Wagon Inn. And then there's like the Uptown Inn in the Merchant District that would probably be on the order of like several gold pieces a night. So it's kind of where your thing, wherever you want to go to.
So I'll just check out a couple, since we've got time to spare, just check out a couple of the inns, see what's there, see if I can hear anything about where's a decent place to eat for not a whole lot of food or a whole lot of money. And I'll just go wander off.
All right.
It sounds like she's heading off.
Yep. So when she leaves,
okay.
So do we have anyone else concerned that we may have a vampire in our midst?
I'm sorry, what?
She does have vampire qualities. I thought we thought. I've heard of a. Wait, before I say this, I can't remember if I made the check or not to notice that she had some kind of like, it was like a vampire, but not the hemomancer thing. I don't remember if I made that check.
No. So you guys definitely all saw her flash red eyes and fangs at the goblin. And Brian, your phone is. What's going on at your house, man? So you definitely all saw that. That being said, only one person saw her do the blood drinking. I don't remember who that was.
I thought that was Silva.
I think
that might have been Silva. Yes.
Well, you had me roll for it.
I think it was me. You had me make a roll about whether I saw. I just don't remember what I did on that roll. I can't remember if I learned specific information or not.
Well, no, you were just noticing her. I mean, you haven't really tried to figure out what she might be.
Well, I remember I made a roll and put it together. That's all I remember.
Well, no, like you put together that maybe she's vampiric, but you're not sure what.
No, and
she's clearly walked around during the day with you guys, so she's clearly
she's not a vampire.
Not the vampire.
I have noticed some odd things.
Yeah, but there's odd stuff with her. Andal's already left. Kat has left. Three of you are kind of here chatting.
Right. So I mean, she seems to be, she has not given me any reason to mistrust her. But it is intriguing. And keep an eye out, that type of thing.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely will. I'm gonna head up and just go study a little bit, and just study, try to fill out maps and things like that.
You're gonna study the map in Morgoth's house?
I mean, I'll head back to
the camp.
Yes, please.
All right. So
what were you about to say though, John?
I was going to say, can I have some of the fungus? Is there enough to split into two samples?
Some of it has actually browned, so clearly it's dying inside of there.
I'll let him hold on to the fungus first.
All right, so you're just going to give him the fungus?
Yeah, I think because I think he's an alchemist. That's more his forte than mine.
All right, so
if it is any
Silva gives you the fungus, Artemis, and then she's like, hey, "I'm going to go back and stay with my family," and so she heads out.
All right.
All right. So you're gonna stay and sleep at Morgoth's?
Yeah, if he doesn't mind.
Okay. So let us cut to
Andal
real quick. Andal, you head off out of the place and head down towards the docks. Because you remember your tenements down towards the docks. Anyway, what are you gonna do? I mean, you know that you need to put in essence a message up on the job board. And then at that point, it's a matter of waiting at the place where you specify each night until they show up.
I'm assuming I have a normal place that I do, or
that's the salty rat, the place you met them the last time.
Yeah, I'll just do some sort of thing that
Okay.
alludes to that.
So you put in a message on the job board, and then you just go sit at the Salty Rat and drink, because you have no idea when they might show up.
Mhm.
All right. So you kind of do that. You put your thing up. You head on over to the Salty Rat. You head inside. It seems to be a raucous night here at the Salty Rat. There's a ton of people inside. More so even than the last time you were here before you left town. You sidle up and get a drink from the bartender whose name I can't remember all of a sudden. You know,
that
just,
dude 779.
yeah, I gave him a name. I just don't remember what it is. I didn't write it down clearly. And you kind of settle your back and sit back at the thing and start, nursing the drink for a bit. The clientele tonight is a little rowdier than even the other nights. There is a pretty bad bard. Like the song is terrible that they're singing are terrible. Kind of in the place, kind of doing some stuff. Either they're terrible or they're just so drunk that's the reason why they're bad. There's an arm wrestling match going on. You watch this guy and then bam, literally breaks part of the table as he slams the guy's hand down. The guy's like shaking his hand. It's like, Grung, I can't believe you did that again. And Grung is like, when he kind of stands up and does it, you notice that Grung is like about 6'5", pale, slightly greenish tinge to his skin, some rather large tusks coming out.
He's a half orc.
And he kind of looks around. He's like, more challengers, more challengers. Everybody's like, nope. None of that. Don't want any of that. And so he kind of collects some winnings and comes up to the bar and buys a drink and kind of looks at you and sniffs a little bit and just stands there and sort of drinks for a bit. For the most part, though, there's not much else going on so far as you kind of look around and wait. How long do you want to wait?
What time did I get there?
You guys got in at dusk. You talked for maybe an hour, so maybe 9 o'clock.
I'll wait till at least midnight and then.
Okay. So a little before midnight, you see that guy show up at the front of the door, or coming in through the door, and he kind of looks around for a little bit, and you know for a fact that his eyes pass right over you, and then they pass over you again, and then he kind of sidles up to the bar on the other side. So Grung has been sitting with you the whole time, kind of drinking the whole time, getting a little bit more drunk every time. Every now and then he'll turn around and be like, more fight, more arm wrestle. Let's do it now. And somebody will be stupid enough because they've gotten drunk enough to do it, so you'll get another arm wrestling match with him, and he pretty much destroys everybody, all comers. And so he's now probably about through 5 of these people and through 5 or 6 or 7. You kind of lost count of the drinks he's been drinking.
Isn't it watered down though? He should be fine.
It's a little bit watered down, yeah. You and he know that. He might even know that, but he's doing really well at, making sure that.
Oh, I know, but he shouldn't be that drunk.
Yeah, he's probably not that drunk. The guy comes.
He's a big boy.
Comes up to the bartender and asks for a drink. And then as he's kind of sitting there waiting for his drink, he says, he gives you he basically says, "So the job is completed." And I forgot his accent, so it's because it's been a while.
I don't remember.
I know. So the job is completed, is it?
Indeed.
Once he gets a drink, it's the bartender. Back room. We're going to take it for 20 minutes. And the guy's like, sure. And you follow him over to the same spot before, the corner where there's these booths that have the curtains on them. They're lit by an oil lamp. And you kind of step inside and sit with him, and he's like, "So, what is the truth of this mine? Is it truly out of iron? Did they actually have something else?"
Which mine did we go to again? I forget.
You went to the
iron
closest
one.
You went to
no, I know, but there's like multiple.
No, he literally sent you to the one that your brother was at.
Oh. See, when you had told me about this, you just said like a mine. You didn't specify anything.
Literally the mine that you went to your brother was at.
Okay.
They're Iron
Yeah.
Man, the Silver Ore Consortium Iron Man. That's what he literally was
I
talking
thought
about.
he had. I thought there was more than one. My bad. All right.
I mean, the Silver Ore
Yeah.
Consortium has more than one mine, but they only have one Iron Mine.
Fair point. The mine had been sabotaged by.
Oh, really? Now he kind of leans forward a little bit and steeples his fingers. He's like, it's been sabotaged. By whom?
They should be getting back to normal operations soon. They had almost finished fixing everything by the time we left. By the time we had moved out. But the group that I do other work with, we all were going to the around to that area anyway, so we stopped by the iron mine, and right as we had gotten there, a cave-in occurred, and the workers asked us to help out a bit.
Okay.
So we went and helped them bore into the main area, and like it was, devastation. A whole bunch of people had been just mangled. Parts of their bodies had been melted away. And we came to find out that it was 2 halflings and 2 humans, right?
3
Or
humans,
3
2
humans.
halflings. Yeah.
3 humans, 2 halflings. We had found that this group of 5 workers that had just been hired, because contrary to whatever had been happening, where they had said the mine was running out, the mine is actually doing better than it had been.
Oh.
So they had been hiring a lot of people. They had a lot of incoming hires.
So they even have more ore than they've been letting on. Interesting. So there was an explosion. So it was sabotage. Do you know who was the sabotaging? What party?
It was this group of 5 people.
No. I mean, who are they working for?
We didn't find that out because the guy who did it is dead.
Oh, fair enough.
Because the only one who in this second level that they had mined out, there was this massive, like, just a creature of the abyss, basically, that this man had, the 3 humans had just released from some cage that we found deep inside one of the, like, an underground gorge.
Interesting.
And it was just a mass of tentacles and acid, and it had just killed all these people. And then they had blown the people had also blown up the main tunnel, so that way no one could get out while the creature killed everybody. Which is why the mine was reporting having no iron, I would say, because there was none to go get. Everything else had been mined out already.
Interesting.
But we were able to slay the creature, and the guy ended up dying in the process. He freaking almost killed everybody. So we never were able to find out who he was working for. The only survivor of the 5 was a halfling woman, and we didn't find out much from her. She didn't really know anything. All she had been told is that the dude wanted to sabotage the mine and she needed the money, so she and her brother helped them. Otherwise, she didn't really know anything.
Okay. Well, I will let our mutual benefactor know about this, and he pulls out a pouch, a sack of money, and puts it on the table, and he says, "This is what we agreed upon, plus a little bit extra."
I take the pouch and pocket it, and
we will let you know when we have more need of you. But for now, good job. And he drinks his drink and gets up, makes a face because it's very sour ale, and gets up and
oh yeah, it's terrible.
Out.
Trust me, I've been drinking it for 3 hours. It's awful.
And he heads out.
I had to buy a second one.
Looking inside, there's 75 gold.
Coolio.
So you didn't get the extra 50, but you did get 25 extra.
Yeah, well, I didn't come back the day after because we had to do the other thing, which is fine.
And we'll leave you there contemplating what you want to do next. As we go to Kat. Kat, you head up towards the merchant district where the temple is, and the inn's in there. And you kind of head down the merchant Merchant's Way a bit. There's a couple of inns there. One is the Inn of the Blue Bells. There's also one called the the Dancing Bear Inn. Both of them look a little upscale, like, and when you kind of stick your head in there, there's definitely a couple people there, bouncers on, and they kind of give you a look and kind of frown at you a bit as you're kind of looking through up there. What do you want to do?
Try to see how much rooms are in a couple of them. See if it's in my budget.
So the first one you do is you look at is the Blue Bell. Inside of there, you find out that just a single small room is 20 gold.
Oh, okie dokie.
But I mean, you walk into this really nice place, like it's pretty nice, and the guards kind of look at you for a moment, and one of them's basically about to throw you out, but you kind of give him a look, and he just like, okay, and he doesn't do it. But as you get up to the thing and talk with the person who's running the front desk, you find out that even the smallest room is 20 gold.
Okay. And is it about the same for the rest of the inns?
Well, the Dancing Bear is 10 per night. It's a little bit, it's cheaper, but not a lot cheaper.
What about something to drink there? Is it really expensive for?
These are purely inns. They cater to a higher end clientele, so these inns actually don't have a bar per se. You get the feeling that if you had a room, they would get you bar service in the sense that they would bring things to you, but this is purely just an inn for the most part.
Okay. What about like anything that looks like maybe boarding house, or is there a church in the area?
District, not that you see.
Or like a church in the area that might offer.
There's the temple. The main church of Seer is
here
in this thing.
Well,
You've been here before.
Let me go to the church and see if I might be able to get a or something there.
Okay, so you head down the street and head up to the church doors of the church, which the archway into it is still open. It doesn't look like maybe they have doors on the main archway in. And you head into the main chapel area. And you can see that at this time the whole front altar is dark. There's no sun to light it up. But there are still a couple of priests in various alcoves doing what look to be prayers or something of that nature. Go ahead.
Kind of try to get one of the priest's attention and just, hi, I'm weary from my...
You start heading over to one of the priests, and as you get over towards near them, from behind the pillar steps Brother Cedric, and he says, Sealgair, I see you have returned. Please, come with me. Let us speak.
Okay.
And he takes you past the main altar, back through some doors, past some cells, just like you had done the last time you were here, and into his office, and he takes a seat and says, so, do you have something to report? As he temples his feet, or, his fingers.
Just, kind of enlighten him about our time in the dwarf cave and the goblin ruins or whatever, and that, I kind of found some work and just adventuring with them, and some of the stuff we found in the goblin caves.
Interesting.
Yeah, and
so you saying you found some kind of rune staff?
Yeah.
You probably should get that and take a look at it. That sounds like it might be heretical.
Oh, okay.
You can bring that to us. That would be great, and go a long ways towards fulfilling your mission. The axe, you say, was not magical?
Not that I could tell, no.
Interesting. And there was a scroll of some sort?
Yeah, a couple of them, right?
No, just one. Just that scroll of
yeah, there's a scroll.
And you mentioned a sword with some strange spheres.
Yep.
That we're going to have to keep a watch on. It sounds it sounds very interesting. We need to get more information about this. If you can find anything more about that, that was something we definitely need to better understand, and maybe even bring one to us. That'd also be helpful. Whether it's just the spheres or one of the items, preferably both, but either one would be helpful.
Yeah. Do I know enough to draw him any pictures of some of the runes I might have seen?
You can try. Give me an intelligence check.
Alrighty, intelligente. Where's the intelligente? There it is. And ability check?
Yeah, just an ability check in this case. Okay. You're able to put down at least some of the runes. Like, you don't remember them all, but enough of the dwarven runes that are specifically what kind? Are you thinking of just things that you saw or particular ones on the...
well, I studied the sword.
Okay, so...
Because, yeah, I pulled that one out.
There weren't really any runes on the sword, per se, but there were runes, small runes on the axe.
Right, okay, yeah.
Yeah, you provide some of those, for sure, and you provide a little bit... You remember enough of the scroll to at least give him some of the scroll. Like, you looked at it a little bit with the rest of them, so you don't have the whole thing, but you have enough to give him a gist of what it is. And, you know, once he gets enough of that, he says, oh, if you can, just burn the scroll when you see it next. We don't need that in our archives, but it doesn't belong. It should be destroyed. And then he, and then do you, Kat, I'm specifically asking this one because I don't remember if you remember it. Do you talk to him about the device that you guys saw the ghostly dwarf in? Remember there was the device on the wall in the one room that Halton was in?
Oh,
that somebody figured out how to operate? You mention that to him?
I do.
Okay. He's like, where are these runes? I think I might need to send another Inquisitor out there. Can you provide a map to them? I mean, you do remember, with your intelligence check, you do remember enough to...
Okay. I was going to say, would that be like survival?
Yeah, no, I mean...
You know, I was traveling with the party and more following them than trying to find it on my own.
All right, well then give me a survival check. I mean, you know it was approximately a half day west of Ravensthorpe, and that's what you give him, you know, in a canyon. So you give him that, about that much, and you kind of, he gets out a map and you kind of point where you think it is on the map. That's about as good as you do for him. You give a couple of landmarks that you remember, but it's not a lot of landmarks. And yeah, you're very clear. You say, hey, I was following the rest of the group. They seem to know where they were going. So he's like, this is all very good, Sealgair. I think it's time for us to increase your training. Give you a bit more, introduce you to a bit more of the mysteries. And he stands and gestures for you to follow him as he heads towards a small door to the side. Opening it reveals a dimly lit circular stairwell that leads downward. He gestures for you to enter and then follows, pausing briefly to close and lock the door. The stairwell circles around 2, 3, 4 times before it ends in an arched hallway. The hallways head straight for about 50 feet, small alcoves on either side containing small statues of what you are sure are priests of Seer, but none you've ever seen before. Reaching the end, you see 2 doors with an armored person on either side holding glaives across the doors. Cedric makes a gesture and speaks a word that enters your ear, but you can't hold on to it. You just can't grasp it. And the... sorry, I lost my spot. And the 2 glaives go back to a resting position and the doors slowly creak open. Beyond the doors lies a dark room. He continues forward into the room with a slight glance your way before passing through the doorway. You continue and glance at the 2 armored people, realizing that there is no one inside the armor. Entering the room, you see it is a circular room about 40 feet in diameter. In the center is a 2-step dais with a stone table in the center. Now, around the room are sets of manacles at varying heights embedded into the wall, as well as several burning braziers. As the doors creak close behind you, you hear the sound of the armored guards moving the glaives back into position. You turn back to see Cedric standing on the dais looking at you. It is time to continue your training. He speaks another word that your mind just can't quite grasp, and a portion of the wall to your right opens, and a robed and hooded monk pulls forth 2 people in hoods and chains, one taller than the other. The monk takes them to 2 separate sets of manacles and chains them up before leaving, the section of the wall closing behind him. What do you see before you? Cedric asks. Give a response, Shelley.
Yeah.
What's your response?
What he just said.
No, he said, what do you see before you?
The wall and stuff.
Well, I mean, there are 2 people in hoods manacled to the wall, so.
Oh, okay, well, 2 people manacled to the wall.
Indeed, this does look like 2 prisoners, does it not? But in fact, they are just 1 prisoner.
What?
He speaks another word, and the hoods disappear from the prisoners, revealing a diary woman and a diary girl. Although on closer look, the girl seems to have slightly pointed ears. You see, the smaller one is in total control of the larger one. She has completely corrupted the woman, and as such is no longer really a person anymore. You lose track of what he continues speaking, and you lose track of what he is saying as you realize this little girl and her mother look oddly familiar to you. And you kind of stare at them a little bit, and he continues to speak something. You're not really paying attention. As you realize that these 2 are the ones that you were most recently sent to find and return to the Brotherhood, the ones that you attempted to hide away.
Oh crap!
And we'll come back to you. Let's see who else. Silva, you head out of town in the dark, following the road. You've done this several times before. It's overcast though tonight. You don't see any of the moons that you would normally see. Remember it takes about an hour to an hour and a half to get to the camp, but about 45 minutes in after you've left the city proper. Give me a perception check.
All right.
So I get something to drink real quick. What's your perception check there, Silva? Okay, great. You continue walking and don't notice
Lovely.
you don't notice the creature that steps out from the side of the road until it's basically almost too late. As you kind of you something darts from the road in front of you and kind of rears up onto it. You think it's a wolf, but it rears up onto its hind legs and is easily 7 feet tall. And it snarls at you. And at that point, you take a step back and realize that you're looking at. It looks like a wolf, but its forearms and stuff are not quite right, and it's standing on the 2 legs as it snarls at you. And it takes a swipe towards you. So let me make a quick roll. But you're able to dodge out of the way. What do you want to do now?
Can I make like a check? Would that be like a perception check, maybe?
To do what?
I want to get a better look at what it is that attacks me.
You have dark vision, right? You have dark vision,
Yeah.
correct? Yeah, I mean, you can see it in the light here. I mean, you don't need the moon to shine to be able to see it. You still have dark vision. I mean, it's all in grays because you don't have enough light to get color, but it looks like a 6.5 foot tall wolf, but standing on its feet, like its hind feet. But like I said, the arms and legs are vaguely it's like a humanoid wolf.
Okay.
Well, if you didn't know better, you'd think it's a werewolf. It looks like a werewolf. But maybe it is a werewolf.
I'm going to cast Sanctuary on myself.
Okay.
If I can do that, why don't it cast? Moment it counts. Hold on. How do I cast it from here? How do I cast it from my spellbook?
Click on it with the. It'll turn into a die roll. Spellbook.
Oh, there it went. There it went. Yep.
There you go.
I wasn't clicking on the right part.
Yep.
But
Right.
yeah, sanctuary myself, and I'm starting to go away.
What do I back up or?
Yeah, back away from it, and
Okay.
like calm wave with my hands up, saying, "Hey, hey."
All right, so
what's
that's a
going
bonus
on?
action. You're going to disengage and kind of back up. Is that the gist I'm getting at
Yeah.
this point? All right.
Yes.
So, as you're kind of
Yeah, I mean,
backing
I know,
away,
like, talking,
you
saying
kind of
what's
say
going
the words, and sort of a flash of light kind of appears around you. You kind of backing away. After a moment, you hear a chuckle from the side of the road. You're like, "You're no fun. You're no fun at all." And the thing
All
just disappears out of thin air. And you, looking over to the side, you see, because it's not too far off the road, you can see in the thing, you see basically about about a 1.5 foot tall creature sitting there on the side of the road with a strange little blue hat, and he's kind of looking at you and says, I've seen you pass by here a lot. I thought this one might actually get you to make you run away, but oh well." And he snaps his fingers and disappears. Now this creature is like maybe, like I said, about a 1.5 foot tall, very pointed little nose. The skin is kind of green with some spots on it, and it's got a strange hat, like a little pointed hat on its head. Very pointed, very long pointed ears. You can give me an Arcana check. Yeah, let's go with an Arcana check. Just try to see if you figure out what it is.
All right.
You think it's a brownie.
A what?
A brownie. Brownies are these little fey creatures that live in forests that tend to be mischievous and try to play tricks on people.
Interesting. I'm
They
gonna
do interesting things.
make a mental note to keep an eye out because he said he's watching on this stretch of road.
Yeah,
right?
he said he's seen you multiple times.
So yeah, I'm gonna make a mental note to in all future times going past this way, keep an eye out for him.
All right. Do you continue on to the camp?
Yes.
Right.
But I'm gonna keep my guard
continue
up.
on and get to the Vine camp. About a half an hour later. The camp is still in full party mode. They do this till midnight. Your uncle greets you, and you have a seat and eat food, and enjoy the evening with them before heading to a place to sit and start studying your books. At that point, everybody gets a long rest because it becomes the next day.
Hey, Peter.
Yeah.
You may have skipped me because I went down to get a drink. I didn't hear.
No, you said you were just going to sleep, so.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah, so I wasn't doing anything special. Like the 3 that literally left, I did something with because they were doing something that was related to.
Oh, that's cool. I was just gonna figure out what was in the red and the purple potions, but I can do those anytime.
That's a good question.
The goblin potions we found.
Oh yeah. You study them a bit. They clearly they're potions in name only in the sense that they're in vials, but they're literally gases inside there. So give me an alchemist tools roll to try to figure out what they are. Because, opening them up, the gas might come out, so you're trying to do some special stuff to try to figure out what they are.
Plus, of it. So
well,
8 plus
your proficiency.
Alchemist times twice. So 12.
You figure out that the red one is sort of a healing kind of thing. But you're not sure, it's made by goblins, so you're not sure what it might do to you if you were to use it. You're just not sure. But you're pretty sure it's some kind of healing thing. The purple one you think is that hallucinogenic gas that they threw at you.
Okay. I'll try the red thing later, but I know one's hallucinating gas now, and I can put them in my inventory.
Yeah, they're both gas. They're both made of gas. They're just in a potion-like bottle. You assume the whole point is they're in a glass bottle and the glass bottle is it's like goblin glass, so you're not sure how the hell they made this thing, and you can clearly see, like, as you look through it, like magnification and things, like you can see that it's thicker in some places than others. So this is not a very well made flask, meaning that it can probably break pretty easily when you throw it.
Gotcha.
All right, so long rest for everybody, Sealgair and those things. It's now third default.
We ever find anything about Cat?
Nope. Cat did some stuff, and you're not sure what's happened there. It's the morning.
I didn't know if you were
What is everybody about Cat doing this morning?
I mean, I'm assuming that I didn't see anyone else had left by the time I left, so I'm gonna go back to
Morgoth's?
Yeah.
Right. So, kind of early in the morning, Morgoth, there's a knock on your door.
I'm already up making breakfast.
Yep. And, opening the door, you see Andal's there.
Andal,
Andal,
welcome
you
back.
see in here, you just see Morgoth, and you see a slightly snoring Artemis on the floor.
I have a bedroll.
Well, you're on the bedroll on the
I
floor.
am on the floor.
Yeah, you're still on the floor, though. Artemis seemed to have stayed up a bit later than Morgoth did, it seems, maybe. Doing some stuff. Anybody else doing anything?
By the way?
Yeah, you did get a long rest. Yeah. Anybody else doing anything?
So, waiting for everyone to get there. We're going to go take the axe
All right.
And then the cartographer. I wonder how Shelly's doing. Well, I guess we don't know yet. How'd she do with it? Finding her tavern.
Yep. Silva, are you coming back in the morning?
Yes, I will.
Okay. So
I'm headed back.
Okay, about 10, 15 minutes later, Silva, there's another knock on the door, and opening it, you find it's Silva. Another hour goes by. There's no Sealgair.
Okay.
Any of you four doing anything?
Well, I mean, what time of day is it?
I mean, you eat breakfast. Yeah. It's still morning. You eat
breakfast. We're going to go to the cartographer first, or what are we going to do?
Yeah, I mean, I guess she knows where we're going, right? So.
Yeah, you've talked about what you're doing, so.
I would think there's no real reason to expect she's been, kidnapped or anything. So I'd say we just go to the cartographer, whatever. Cartographer and sell the axe. Actually, we should sell the axe first in case the cartographer wants more money.
More money.
More money.
All right.
So that's
so
my
are you guys
thoughts.
Gonna head to,
I mean, I got plenty of money. I'm not really worried about the money.
I'm the oldest, exactly.
Right, but I don't.
Right. So you want to go to casters first? Is that correct?
Yeah. I'd like to copy some of the spells. So.
All right. So
yeah, we can definitely do that.
Eat your breakfast.
I still have to pick my new spell.
And you Morgoth opens the door to start heading out to see Sealgair. They're just about to knock on it.
Huh.
When you look at Sealgair, Morgoth, it looks like she didn't get much sleep.
Are you okay, Sealgair? You have a rough night?
I did.
Sound a good tavern, I guess.
Well,
did we go there or stay away from it?
The taverns were way out of my budget.
No, the inns were. The tavern, you might have been able to do something.
Oh, yeah.
To drink,
Sorry.
you could have drank somewhere, but
yeah, taverns were fine. The inns were out of my budget. But
so where'd you stay?
At the church.
Really?
Yep. not as comfortable. I probably, in retrospect, should have stayed here, given that I slept on a pew, but it was free. So
Do they normally let people stay at the church, Peter?
You don't know. You're not being
Oh, I
a
thought
true
I
friar.
did.
for a small donation,
Not being a true friar, you don't actually know.
for a small donation, I say free loosely. It was a small donation. But
Okay. That's good to know if I ever need a place to stay.
Okay.
So yeah, we're just going to go to take the axe back and then maybe find the maps.
Okay. You guys head out of Morgoth's room and start heading down the street towards Casters, and that's where we're going to end for this particular thing.
Peter, I forget, did we actually do detect magic on the axe?
I don't think anybody has detect magic, to be honest.
I do now.
Yes. And so we're going to talk about that in a
I
second.
have detect magic.
Oh,
I
yeah.
have detect magic.
Maybe she did, but I don't. I know you guys determined eventually that, somebody tried to identify it or something. You guys did determine it was not magical. I know that.
Yeah, we tried to identify it in a 10-minute ritual Brian did while we were there.
Yeah.
Okay.
There was no magic to it.
Just double checking.
So we're going to end there as you're heading down the street. As you're heading down the street, Kat, your mind follows back to the night before. And whether or not they realize that this is the person you were supposed to bring back or not, you're not sure. But over the course of the next 6 hours, you spent learning and relearning and learning and relearning how to determine if something is magical, how to determine if it is fiendish or not. So detect evil and good in this thing is basically detects whether or not something's a fiend or a celestial. It doesn't detect actual alignment because we don't have alignment in this campaign. So you determine some of that. And you also learn, what's the last bit? There's the last little bit. You also learn how to utilize your rights to cause extra harm against those who cast magic. And you utilize that on the 2 people in that room.
Did I actually use it?
You actually used it. It's either that,
So-
or be discovered.
Is there any way I could have lost my focus because I felt bad about attacking a little girl and not necessarily have been effective?
Give me a deception check.
Oh, that's not going to go well.
Give me a deception check. Start there.
Nope.
You try to do that. If you'd at least gotten a couple more, I would have at least said that he might have just mistaken it as something else. And you spend another hour afterwards. You spent an hour getting indoctrinated, is the way they call it. So that's why you look so terrible this morning for a variety of reasons, not the least of which is a couple of things. But you come out of it knowing your 2 third-level abilities. That's the gist of what's going on. And that's where we'll end.
All right.